What if genius isn't something you're born with, but something you wake up to? Not an IQ score, not a rare talent, not a gift reserved for a few, but a state of consciousness available to all of us. From a very young age, I was fascinated by what I called the invisible architecture of who we are, often sitting alone in my backyard in Mexico, hidden behind plants, quietly watching people and cars pass by, wondering what was inside of them, what moved them, long before I had the language for those questions. As I grew older, that curiosity deepened into a fascination with human potential, with how the mind works, how patterns of thought form, and how different levels of awareness shape what we create. And I began to wonder, what if genius isn't rare, but simply forgotten? What I observed is that people's brilliance is often buried beneath conditioning and expectations. Many don't feel permitted to trust their own ideas, and that may be the real loss. Because the tragedy isn't that genius is rare, it's that genius is forgotten. We often equate genius with intelligence, giftedness, with exceptional ability, but history suggests something more subtle. Leonardo da Vinci was extraordinary because his mind was interconnected. Logic and imagination, analysis and intuition, precision and wonder. Genius is not a personality trait. It's not a resume item. Genius is a state where the analytical and imaginative parts of the brain operate together. In that state, you don't overthink. You perceive patterns others missed. You're fully focused, fully present, fully awake. That is the genius state. And every human being has touched it, even if only for a moment. Neuroscience shows us that the brain is plastic. It rewires itself based on what we observed and focused on. Physics goes even further. Quantum physics suggests that the observer plays a role in shaping experience. What we pay attention to influences what we perceive. And here's where it gets especially interesting. Time is not strictly linear the way we were taught. Quantum physics describes time more like a field, a landscape of possibilities in heightened states of awareness. People don't simply react to the present moment, they begin to sense outcomes before they fully unfold. This is why insight sometimes arrives fully formed, why clarity can feel spontaneous. You've experienced this, a sudden solution, a creative breakthrough, a moment where everything connects. Athletes call it the zone. Artists call it the flow. I call it the genius state. Jason Paget, a genius savant, offers a striking example. After a traumatic brain injury, he began perceiving the world as geometry, fractals, motion, probability, no formal mathematical training. His injury did not create genius. It removed a perceptual barrier. Many innovators describe similar experiences. They don't feel as though they invent the future. They recognize it because when your state changes, your perception changes. We don't need more prodigies. We need more awakened creators. People who integrate perception and presence, who see patterns, who think beyond habit. Genius is not found, it is awakened. And the future is not something you wait for. Genius is something you create. Thank you.